Hi. So we're here today with Dima Murashenko. He's been a student of mine for some time. Nice gentleman. Works for, how do you want to say this? Do you want to say what telecommunications company or a telecommunications company? Which is better for you?
I think the first one.
Okay, he works for a major telecommunications company in Minsk, and he's a systems troubleshooter. And that's a good question. Now, I'm not going to say, but why don't you want to say who you work for? What is the holdup?
I don't know who will see this video. That's why.
Okay. So we've got a couple of topics today, and it's sometimes you get a nice segue. Sometimes the conversation just puts you right where you want it to be. So the first topic you wanted to talk about today was bureaucracy. Yeah. And something tells me this connects to the telecommunications company. Yeah or no?
No.
Okay.
Because I lost my day. I lost my weekend because of bureaucracy.
What happened there? They called you into work or something?
No, it was yesterday. We decided to make some documents for our dacha.
Okay.
We decided to make a passport.
Right.
And I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I called to Smolevichy BTI company that creating these papers and said that we wanted to make the passport of our dacha.
Okay.
They said, okay, but you had to give us some documents.
Of course.
And I started to collecting these documents.
Okay.
And yesterday we came to their office.
Okay.
And started to make our passport.
Okay.
And one document was not very good by their opinion. One of my documents that I had collected.
What document was this?
It was a reference from our I don't know how it in English. Our dacha председатель.
Okay.
Every year we have election where we choose one from our dacha leaders as a main as a president.
Okay. All
of
right.
our cooperative.
It's a powerful position.
Yes.
Okay.
And he had gave me a reference with one mistake.
What was the mistake?
It was one word in this reference that said that our dacha is ready to living.
And your dacha is your new house is actually not ready to live in.
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically you could sleep there, but it's not a finished house.
Yes.
Right.
It's not very comfortable.
Yeah, you sleep on the concrete. Yeah.
And I said to BT engineer, just cut this word from the reference.
Right.
But he said, no, I couldn't. You should give me new reference.
Oh my goodness. So, now how many other documents were there in this collection?
Not a lot. Some passport screens, some documents about our deals when we bought this dachas ground, when we bought ground.
Mm-hmm.
And some other reference from
Okay, so it's not a lot of papers. Well, why on earth did the guy, when he gave you this reference, why did he say that your house is finished? Your house is obviously not finished.
Yes, I think he was drunk. Because he always drunk.
Therefore, the perfect person to elect president. Yeah.
He just made a mistake.
Okay.
He I don't know how it in English. I think it will be mixed up.
Yeah. Okay. So now you've got to go out to the dacha, find your drunken president, get him to give you another document, go back to the, all right? So that's only a 2-week mistake.
Yes. And we lost our weekend because of one word.
Right. I have a similar story, and it is a telecommunications store. I will say the name of this company. This is Life, okay, which we argue about a lot. I know you don't work for Life, but I use Life.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the thing in a nutshell. About a month ago, we actually it was not you and I, it was with Nastya. I think it was one of her first classes with Nastya. 6 a.m. meeting, and I had no internet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for a couple of reasons. And I was planning on using my telephone internet, but my telephone had no money on it. Right? Even though I had put 30 rubles on it the day before. And this was the difference, I think, between October 31st and November 1st. And now suddenly I had no more time.
We was in Poland.
Right. Exactly so. So I went to one of the Life sales offices, and I asked them, why is it that I buy this package that gives me 16 gigabytes of material? It's supposed to cost 15 rubles. I give them 30 rubles, and yet I have no money on my account in one day. I said, where is the mistake? So she tells me, and it takes about an hour for her to, I think she knew what the problem was, but it took her an hour of phoning and calling and using my passport and she found out that I had these additions, these services, the weather, humorous anecdotes, all of these SMSs that were paid for on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And these things were costing me, something like 20 rubles a day. And I said, I don't understand. I've never ordered anything. I've never ordered any service from my phone. I go on the internet. I don't buy anything on the internet. And I talk to people on the telephone. Now you can take some rubles for my phone calls, but there's no way I'm using 16 gigabytes in a day. It's physically impossible. So it turns out that the system, they send you this invitation. Would you like this service?
Mm-hmm.
And if you just ignore it, like as if I don't care, I'm not gonna say yes, they give it to you and charge you money.
Mm-hmm.
Your obligation is to physically send them an SMS saying no.
Mm-hmm.
I was not even aware of this. All I know is at the beginning, I had service. I never ran out of money. I had extra money every month, and now I couldn't keep the telephone lit. Turns out they were giving me all of these things I didn't even know I had, charging me money for it. I had never agreed to anything. So
it's very good way to make a lot of money, because some people found out that the operator cheating, and they called to operator, and the operator will beg them money. But some people don't found out that they give their money to operator without any service.
it's a wonderful. You know what? I agree with you. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start giving people English lessons. And it doesn't matter if they show up. I'm just going to say, you see, you don't understand. You didn't say no. I agreed that you're going to take English. You didn't show up for your first 5 lessons. That's not my problem. And they say, I didn't even know I had English lessons. And I said, but it doesn't matter. I sent you an SMS. You didn't say no. So now you know you owe me for a month's English lessons. But I didn't even know. Well, that doesn't matter. You didn't say no, therefore you owe me for a month of English. That's a good business. You're right. You should have a car in front of your house. Like, where did this car come from?
Your students.
Yeah, seriously. I wonder how many girlfriends would. I wonder how many girlfriends would use this policy. So anyway, this is how the story finishes. So I went for a bike ride, and at the end of the bike ride, and I was pretty hungry. I just want to say I was pretty hungry. I hadn't eaten, and I was ready to go home, get some lunch, and then I had things to do.
You was pretty angry, I think.
No. This was not my anger. This was not. But you see, a month ago we had figured out and canceled all of these extra things, and for 1 month, the internet worked every day. There was no problems. But now I had to change because they changed their policy, and the packet that I was using is no longer available. So I went to talk to the same sales girl to see how do we get started on this new package, okay? And this was the deal. So she looks at me, she remembers the last time I came there, and sends me to their specialist. I said, okay, listen, all I want is how do I start the new package? She says, give me your passport. I said, okay. She types in my name, and she finds 3 numbers attached to my name. My current phone number, my ex-girlfriend's phone number. I guess I was the one who signed for that package. Now, that card is gone. That card is actually in this box right here. So no one's using that one. And then apparently, and I don't know why, they said that 3 years ago, I used a modem. And that I owed them $10.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I don't even remember that I used a modem, but if I used a modem and it cost an amount of money, I always pay my contracts. And they said I owed them $10 for 3 years. Okay? I said, can you please show me my payment history? So she says, just a moment. And she starts typing. And paper starts coming out of the printer. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 15 sheets of paper. She takes them out, writes her name on 5 of them, stamps 5 of them, staples them, and hands me 15 pieces of paper. She says, this is your contract. I said, okay, I have a contract. Can you please show me when I paid? Just a minute, she says. She starts typing again in the thing. And here comes some paper. 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, 15 pieces of paper. She writes her name on 5 of them, stamps them, hands me a second sheet of papers, opens up the very last page, and you say, you see, you didn't make a payment. Okay, that was 3 years ago, and now there is a straf, there's a fine, and you owe us 21 rubles. And I said, where is my payment history? And she says, it's here. I said, no, that's just the total. Where is when I paid you? Where is when I started, and where is my last payment? And she says, well, I can get that, but it'll take a long time. We might have to call you, and you might have to come back. I said, okay, I just want you to understand something. Normally, I pay all my bills like religion. I don't ever want any problems with anybody. But you see, what you've done is you've given me 30 pieces of paper that says your system agrees with itself. But you're not actually showing me what I did or didn't do. Do you understand me? Mm-hmm. And she says, well, that may be true, but we'll have to call you. I said, okay, I owe you 20 rubles, right? She says, yes. Good. Let's please talk about the 150 extra rubles I paid for your weather reports, your humor, all of the things you gave me over the course of 3 months that I never ordered, that you charged me for, that sucked up all my money on my internet every month and made me pay 2-3 times a month. Where is your record of how much money you took from me? And she says, oh, that will take some time. I said, oh, you need my passport, yes? And she says, yes. And she starts typing again in this number, and of course, here comes the paper. 1, 2, 5, 7, 12 pieces of paper. She signs her name, she stamps each one, and she hands it to me. And she says, you ordered those services. And I open it up and I said, listen, my dear, you are a beautiful bureaucrat. You are the most beautiful bureaucrat I think I've seen in a long time. But there is not one signature of mine on any of these 15 pieces of paper. There is no check that I agreed to take any of these services. These services were given to me without my knowledge, and apparently I needed to refuse them. Can you please show me where I agreed to this 150 rubles worth of material? And she said, oh, this could take some time. We need to call you. Well, it was now 2 o'clock. I had been there 2 hours. Now, I didn't lose my weekend, but I did lose my lunch. I completely understand your ideas of bureaucracy. Do you think Belarus is unnecessarily bureaucratic?
I think yes.
Why do you?
Our country is very bureaucratic.
Yeah.
And did they back your money or not?
Well, of course not immediately. I mean, at the end of the day, if they gave me back 100 rubles, this would be lovely. I don't think they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, according to their system, they acted legally. You know, that computer agrees with itself. It's not going to agree with my claim. They're never going to produce anything with my signature or my click saying I agree to take these services. According to them, I clicked on something on the internet that automatically gave me this, but I don't ever remember anything that takes your money where you don't have to sign. Like if you download something, even if it's a free app, you have to agree, right, to the general terms of usage. How can they give me a product and take my money without ever agreeing to terms of usage? And apparently they've been doing this to everybody. I don't know how much money they've managed to steal from people, but I bet it's quite a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let me ask you this. What do you think? Okay, I agree that Belarus is a very bureaucratic place. What do you think the effect is? I mean, what do you think that does to people that live here when the bureaucracy is the most important thing?
I think this system we take it from the Soviet Union.
Okay, yeah. What's the result of this? What happens to people when every aspect of their lives is in place because of a piece of paper? And that piece of paper is more important than almost anything.
I think a lot of people think that they will better don't meet or don't use or don't connect to some deals because they afraid of this bureaucratic. They better will sit at home or I don't know or do something without any documents that started to make deals with bureaucratic or with official way, with unofficial ways.
Do you think? What about credit?
Only if we don't have any other good way to do our deals, we start to use bureaucratic things.
Okay. Now, you know, I bought the new couch, right? And Belarus Bank gave me money for this couch. It wasn't a lot of money, but they agreed to give me this loan. And they made it very clear to me that they very much like giving credit. Belarus Bank, and I'm sure this is at the direction of the state. It's the state bank. I'm sure it's not pure banking and profit. I think loans from Belarus Bank kind of keep the economy moving. Yeah. It allows people to have whatever. Do you think people are afraid of taking credit simply to be tied into the bureaucracy?
You know, I think our people, even our credits, are very hard, and our credits are very have a very big person.
Mm-hmm.
Our people.
We're talking about buying houses, right?
We're talking about credits at all, generally.
Okay. I just want to say my couch credit is 0.
Mm-hmm.
My deal was nothing. I'm just paying for the couch over 11 months. There's no percentage, no anything. They just gave me 11 months to pay for it, and I said thank you.
Okay. No.
I think homes. It's for buying homes mostly. That's what you're talking about. It's a very big percentage.
Understand you.
Yeah.
Our people.
Maybe cars.
Love credit because most of our people don't have any free money to buy something to buy expensive things like big TV or new phone.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to have these things,
Right.
and they go to a shop and take credit.
I don't
Because this bureaucracy is good for a bank and for banks, and banks take all of problems with that bureaucracy for them. But when somebody stop paid for their credit, this bureaucracy become this main problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wonder if I talked to Belarus Bank about financing English lessons with me.
I think you better should try this in some commercial bank,
Yeah.
not in the government bank.
That would be an interesting idea. I don't know exactly how that would work out, but if a student paid not like I always work month by month. I always work month by month, and people pay for a month and then we go. But I wonder if you could finance 4 months. Like you buy this package for 4 months, right? And the 4 months cost this block of money. I get the block of money, and then the people actually pay for it over the course of a year. So instead of, so I don't know what that would be. They would pay 3 times less. Whatever that cost would be to pay for a month, they pay 3 times less and spread it out over a year. So it technically makes my lessons less expensive, but not really. It's the same money going out. But I wonder if a bank would agree to do that.
Maybe, Adam, but you can. I think you can make conversation with some bank who will be your business bank, and this bank will give your students special credit for learning in your course.
Yeah. I think it's a terrible idea. No, I mean, the thing of it is I could see that it would make, it would enlarge the volume of business that I get, but I don't sell cars here. I mean, these are English lessons. And if there's any problems with the students along the way, I could see that to be very messy and very bureaucratic, if people start defaulting on their loans with me. I mean, the bank would come to me and say, your people are not paying, you're now a bad credit risk. And I could see...
It will be not your problems.
Well, not at first, but if I have people...
This way can be a good motivation for students, because they take a credit for 1 year payment. This money come to your
account.
Come to your account,
right?
And they start to pay every month to bank.
Right.
But you at this moment you have all year's payment.
No, this part I understand. The problem is not with this. That's wonderful. Thank you. I've got my payment and we're going to work for the next 4 months. The problem are twofold. What happens in the 5th month when there are no English lessons going on, but they've got to continue to pay for this thing? I got a couch. That couch is still here. It's still sitting there, I pay for the couch every month, but there is a couch. You understand? But my problem is if the couch catches fire and has to be thrown away, I have to continue to pay for the couch. All right, if my lessons for some reason catch fire, I don't know why. They don't do homework, right? They start taking drugs. I don't know what the problem is, but all of a sudden we've got a bad situation. What am I supposed to do about that? Now that's where I see the bureaucracy coming to bite me on the ass, and I don't think I'm going to do this. I want to tell you, my current credit is this couch. This is, honestly, I do not buy anything on credit. I live cash and carry.
It's a very wise decision.
I don't feel particularly hurt by it. It takes a little longer to get your stuff or you invest, but save your money. That's what my dad said. Save your money. He said, save your money. That's a good thing. But
some my friends became owners of very good things with credits, and their credits fired by inflation.
Oh yeah, okay, now what year is that? Okay, if you want to go back to 2012, no, or was it that one, or I think it was the next one, 2014. If you want to go back to 2012, you remember this. There was that magical 2 weeks that we knew that the ruble had crashed, but the companies that were fueled by European ownership did not change their prices, and their prices didn't change. It was the same rubles, and for some reason, and I don't know what the reason was, but they didn't adjust their price. And you remember that, and I remember that, for 2 weeks. And I remember it was in June. I remember that because I had about a kilogram of Belarusian rubles under my mattress from my whole year's work. And it was uncomfortable because like a kilogram of money is pretty big. But I didn't care because it was money, so I would sleep on it. And then I was playing billiards with my friend, and he said, "Did you hear what happened?" So I ran to the bank, through the crowd of people screaming to open up the doors, let me in, past the guards, they had their hand on their gun. And I went up and I'd say, "Can I please buy dollars with this kilogram of money?" And he said, "No, you can't do that." I said, "Okay, can I put this money on an American credit card?" And he said, "No, I'm sorry, it can't leave the country." And I said, "What can I do with this money?" And he says, "Enjoy it."
Very good.
I know. I bought an MP3 player. Yeah, that was my big thing. Honestly, you're right though. That would have been the time. I know a guy who bought a house exactly at that moment. And the house became half as much value. The loan was in rubles. And so he got,
something like that.
Yeah, but these things don't happen very often. So, what are you planning for New Year's?
I think my parents and my wife's parents will come to our flat, to us. We will make a lot of food, as usually.
Sure.
Some drinks.
Wait a minute. Which of these is it's Nastia's parents who are not the drinkers, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Your parents have no problem.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So this is then it's the mathematics of the two, the mix of we don't drink very much and we have no problem drinking. That means some drinks. That's the
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think after that I and Nastya will go to our friends, and our parents will stay on our flat with our daughter. As usually, we will go to play snowballs.
Okay.
Drink some alcohol with our friends.
Nice.
Maybe have some every year near our shop, near our marketplace. I think these market owners make a big disco, and everybody who wants to dance come to this place and have a lot of fun.
Nice.
Maybe we will go to disco. I don't know. I think last New Year we decided to go to Vietnam this New Year.
Wow.
But our dacha eats a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's why we will stay here.
Okay.
And what about your weekend?
Generally speaking, I usually end up visiting several friends. I don't. I do not celebrate with my daughter's mom. And I don't really have like family. I have friends here, but not really family. And usually it's a family thing. So I found my good compromise a long time ago. Mm-hmm. You just place, usually the number is about 6, 7 bottles of vodka in your pack. And then at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you go out and you go visit a friend. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year! And so you join the party and you offer a bottle. Usually they might, and everybody drinks a little bit and we talk and we celebrate and everybody's got food. Mm-hmm. And in about an hour and 15 minutes, you say, please, forgive me, I've got to go. I've got to go see my friends. Happy New Year. I love you guys. La la la. And then you leave. You go to the next house. Happy New Year. And then there's some vodka and some food, and we love each other about an hour and 90 minutes. I've got to go see my friends. And then now it's usually, well, now we don't have that. There was the old time change where Lukashenko, where Putin would give his speech at 11, and then Lukashenko would give his speech at 12, and that's when you see Putin talking, it's time to go, right? And
when Lukashenko talking, it's time to go sleep.
Well, no, this is if you plan it correctly, there ought to be. I'm single right now, but if you're not single, you want to be with whoever is closest to a girlfriend for Lukashenko. I mean, because you're going to kiss somebody. And this is where being able to handle vodka comes in handy, because if you drink too much and you make a mistake, you're kissing somebody's grandmother at midnight. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and if you have enough vodka, it's a wonderful thing. And it's just another woman who loves you now. It's not.
How will you feel yourself about at 5 in the morning? My favorite story of all time. This is like some time ago. I had visited 7 parties. Mm-hmm. And it was about 3 in the morning, and I came home, and at the time I was living on the 4th floor. In Pinsk?
I was on EPD in Pinsk at that time, and I was on the 4th floor, and there was no lift, and I was crawling up the stairs. I couldn't walk the stairs, and I got to my door. I was almost home, and my neighbor across, his door flies open. Adam, we have to celebrate New Year's together. And I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. And it's like, no, come, we have to drink together. I'm like, seriously? And so, again, I don't mean to be disrespectful. So he lived with his mother, who was deaf and half blind, and basically sat on her bed all day. So mom was over here on her bed, and the table was set for New Year's. Very lovely. But he is one of these guys who doesn't like store-bought alcohol. Mm-hmm. And apparently he doesn't like to buy, he has a dacha, and he doesn't like to buy meat either. So he had prepared food that was directly from his dacha. Mm-hmm. But I am not convinced that we were eating chicken or pork. I'm honestly, the meat just didn't look like any part of a pig I've ever seen. So I was thinking maybe horse. I wouldn't even say goat. I don't know what he killed for this New Year's festivities. and the last alcohol of the evening was in Banks. Well, kind of clear. Kind of clear.
It was, I think,
Some of them.
Oh yes, yes, it was absolutely. But now Samahong can be wonderful if it's clean. That's the only thing. It's got to be clean. This was a little brownish. It had a little color in there, and I don't think he was making whiskey. So so anyway, I don't know. I don't really remember the last half of that party. But yeah, but usually that's about how my New Year's goes. So I like New Year's myself.
Everybody likes.
Yeah. So listen, what do you think about this conversation? You pretty interesting?
Very well. Yes, Adam, very well.
Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching.